was really like fixated on sheep and like, okay, let's get pigs and cows and sheep. That's not the level up after chickens. That the sheep can be pretty difficult. Don't do goats, which I don't think we want to do goats anyway. So pigs, I think, are definitely a thing. Maybe a couple cows. This pasture area here that has polywire and a T-post, it's a pretty large area, and it hasn't been used for at least 2-3 years that we know. And there was a big storm that came and put some limbs down and destroyed some of this fence line. I've kind of like roughly looked at some of the areas, but just now I thought I better see what I'm dealing with right here. Because what I was thinking is like, where are we going to put pigs? And I keep thinking in the woods or along the woods. But if we aren't going to use this immediately for anything, I could easily put some pigs in this area along the woods, or cross fence some of this pasture and put them in here and move them around in here a little bit, because this needs some work. We're gonna need some animals to help us work this. So anyway, I've got my gears turning, the sun's out. What I'm gonna do right now is continue to kind of walk this fence line, and any branches that are down I'm gonna throw off, start to clear this French fence line a little bit. See the areas here where this polywire is down on the ground, because it got knocked, but also it's off track and buried. So I'm gonna repair as much of this fence line I can before I have to go get the chainsaw, which I will need the chainsaw. There are some big limbs down, but I'm gonna walk this right now. I'm gonna start to dial this in, and this is a pretty large pasture area that goes out here, you know, and wraps around the other barns. We would need all that for pigs, but because there is a fence line, we could segment it off and use what we need. I do really like the idea of putting pigs over on this side. We got our chickens here. We could have pigs running in and out of the woods here and utilize some of that. But I also would be able to, I would be able to pull power from the charger that's on this fence and run it into these woods if I cleared out some paddocks for pigs without having to buy another solar charger right now. Or I think my goal is to utilize what we have, start where we have right now, because there's a lot of infrastructure here that we're not used to. And I'm just used to using Premier One fencing and stuff, so my mind thinks like, oh, just order a Premier One charger and a pig net. That'll be the easiest way. It may be the easiest way because I know how to do it, and it may be the easiest way to just get it and start, but it's not the most cost-effective way right at the moment when we have this existing infrastructure. So I'm going to try and get out of my comfort zone a little bit, work what's here, or assess what's here, you know, and go from there. That's what we're doing today, and we'll see where we get, how far we get. spots here where they've already repaired it or knotted it up and kind of switched material. I'm not real familiar with all these different types of polywire or whatever this stuff is called. This is kind of more like a rope material. I don't know if they patched that here. Definitely have some posts where it's been knocked loose. Got a lot of slack right here. So I'll come back once I clear through everything here. Come back and snug everything up. Make some repairs. Definitely one of these areas where a bigger tree came down and took some fence with it. That I cannot move. I'll have to grab a chainsaw and come back and clear this out of the way, but not a big deal. Just a couple bigger limbs. Clear some of this, and it doesn't look like it broke the line here as much as I can tell, so I should be able to hook that back up. But these spots where it pulled it, you know, it's causing slack or it's causing it to come off in other places. Sometimes we just have stuff like this where it's so overgrown. And now I'm just gonna have to reveal it a little bit. Got some work to do. Projects. It's all about the projects. We're getting here, coming up here, we're getting into where this tornado went through. This storm knocked down all these big trees. These guys are working, coming from a different property right now, clearing some of this. But yeah. Got another spot here where a larger tree came, and this time actually took out a post and got some damage here that I'll have to come through and get the chainsaw for. But this is right here. That tornado tracked right on through here, man. And look at these big trees, just all this stuff. Big mature trees, hundreds of trees through here that are just down. And a lot of this will be turned into lumber. There's a crew on it because it is a big job. It is a job outside of my realm, but that crew's been coming in from another property that got nailed, and they're working their way in through here. It's a mess. As they say, get your brooms because it's a mess. There's a lot of T-posts that need knocked back in. And then, you know, a spot like this is pretty frayed coming through here. You know, I guess it still has connectivity. I don't know if in spots like that, I guess once I hook the charger up, I go around and test the fence. I mean, I got it here again, but there's connection going through there. I'm gonna have to decide whether to cut those spots out and patch them in. How much of this I actually want to repair. Here's one, another top one that's down but not busted. Although I'm feeling pretty positive about it. It's like definitely a job I think I can complete today. Definitely clearing the fence line with the chainsaw. And then once I get all these clips replaced and some of these T-posts knocked back in and I think everything's clear, I'll hook to the charger that's here, see if that thing even works, and see what kind of reading I'm getting off of it. I'm thinking, man, we can even run pigs in paddocks off of this through here, kind of root through this area here and in and out of some of these trees. We have got so many options, you know. I'm thinking start with 2 or 3 pigs. We could run a lot of pigs out here, but if I know Liz, she's gonna think that probably 2 is plenty for me. We got into a conversation because I wanted to do pigs last year and she kept saying no pigs, and I guess I had in my mind it's because she didn't want us to do it on the land we were at, but I think it was more that she felt like we just learned chickens and not to overwhelm myself. She's good with that. I'm all jump full in, you know, but in retrospect it was definitely a good thing we didn't do that because of me breaking my collarbone. She already had to pull a lot of the weight with the second round of meat birds and everything that we did, because I was still in a sling. It was supposed to be in a sling when we did those. I was starting to kind of navigate out of that sling a little early, but you know, I don't think that stuff should prevent you from doing these things. You can never know what's going to happen in the future, but in retrospect, Lizzie's intuition was probably correct that we weren't supposed to do pigs last year. I just tracked this strand here. It was pretty loosey-goosey, and that's why this broke here. So now we're gate there. We are now to this barn where we've got a gate. Comes into some of these pins. It's a lot. All this infrastructure seems like a blessing, but sometimes for me it's overwhelming because I'm not real familiar with, you know, I don't know what the person had in mind when they started all this. With projects like this fence, you know, I've been wondering, is the existing fence, repairing it, more or less work than starting fresh, you know, kind of like remodeling a house or building fresh. But I think that the fence we definitely can work with, and a lot of the bones and all this stuff is very solid. This stuff's not that old. We got gates. I'm locked in the gate. Oh, I hear a kitty cat. And I hear Lizzie whistling. Where's the kitty cat? Yeah, I'm out here. What am I doing? Still walking the fence line? Still just walking and repairing the fence line?
Oh, are you ready for lunch? 1 o'clock.
Yeah, what'd you make?
Leftovers.
What's that? Oh. I was just hungry. I'm hungry too. Okay, well that's a good stopping point because I made... Oh, there's a kitty cat. Hi Eve, what are you doing up there? Woo, you're doing barn cat stuff. Don't jump down on me. That is it for chainsawing, and the SD card is full, so I think that's another good time for a break.
Yeah, it's not gonna go on all night. Every guest has to be gone by 10. Oh, hi, I'm just wedding planning.
I kind of called that.
Narrowing down our guest list.
Keep narrowing.
I did not get a lot done. I spent my whole day making my own wedding invitation, and everybody likes the template, the pre-made template, better.
Well, I got a lot done, but that's it for today. I cleared all the fence line, and I assessed kind of what parts I need to fix it, and got the trees off and everything like that. So I'll do that another day. It's starting to be time for chickens to go inside, so maybe we'll pick up fence stuff on the next one.
Yeah, we did some really nice exploring of this property today.
Yeah, we've been starting to branch out more and kind of go in places, because the weather's getting a little bit better, so we're stomping through parts of the woods that we haven't been and starting to get a better feel for it. So there's still a lot to explore.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Happy Valentine's Day. See you guys on the next one.